Yeah, it's really wonderful to see everybody here, and I realize over the last number of years how much Antigonish really does care about poverty and how creative we are in taking steps to end it. So I so appreciate the three of you coming here tonight to speak to these really important issues. Well, my question is on income security. Far too many Nova Scotians live in poverty, more women than men, a disproportionate number of African Nova Scotians and Aboriginal people, and too many families with children, especially those led by single mothers. Despite some improvements in income supports in recent years, the overwhelming majority of Nova Scotians in receipt of income assistance who are disabled or otherwise unable to be gainfully employed still live as much as 50% below the poverty line. And when we think about when you're living at the poverty line, you're really living in poverty. When you're living at half of it, you're really low. So what we want to know is, will your party implement a comprehensive poverty reduction strategy that begins with reform of the employment support and income assistance program and includes progressive increases in assistance levels up to the level of the poverty line, hopefully above, and over what time period will you do this?
The NDP is already helping Nova Scotians deal with poverty issues. I mean, we have, the first thing we did when we came to government was remove the HST from home heating fuel and electricity. And of course that is aimed directly at supporting people who are in poverty. As well, we introduced the Affordable Living Tax Credit, which returns $175 million a year to low-income people. That's $255 a year, and that income was aimed at offsetting the increase in the HST. That's an indexed credit that it goes out, and it's 225,000 households with an income of less than $30,000 that benefit from that. The seniors who receive the guaranteed income supplement, they do not pay provincial tax. Any tax they pay, up to $450, is rebated by the province. We've capped generic drug prices, also a direct effect for people, which gives lower drug prices for people in poverty situations. We've increased the property tax rebate from $600 to $800, again aimed at persons who are in poverty-type situations. We have increased, for the first time in 20 years, twice since we've been in government, the amount of income assistance that we give out through the Department of Community Service support payments. So all of these things are aimed at reducing poverty in our community, and these are important issues that have to be dealt with quickly. We're doing as much as we can with the resources that we have, and I'm very proud to say that our track record has actually reduced the amount of poverty over.
One of the problems that faces the population, especially with those who are below the poverty line, is that there's not enough money to go around. We all hear that same excuse, there's not enough money to go around. Now, when we have upwards of 17 to 20% of people in this community below the 20,000 mark in salary, that is not a lot of money to live on. If you talk about anything that has to be done, whether it's transportation or rent or heat and energy, things like that, that is not enough money to live on. We can all agree on that. The problem is, when we don't have enough money, our debt is becoming too high. Now, we have a debt that has increased over the last 4 years by almost $2 billion. Things like the good programs like we're talking about tonight don't get funded. And that is one of the reasons why. So one of the approaches that the PCA government is taking is we want to make life more affordable by reducing taxes, reducing spending, things we see on a daily basis. It's not enough just to say, let's increase income levels, because that's what we want to do, of course, but at the same time, if that money doesn't go far enough, we're in the same problem all over again. So we got to look at reducing costs overall, make sure when we get savings of this nature, and the economy starts to move a little bit more, then we can start to fund programs that we need to do to make sure that these funds are available and the income levels get to where they should be.
To answer the specific question, The Liberal government did call on the government, sorry, it wasn't Liberal government, but the Liberal Party in 2009 did call on the government to implement and create the poverty reduction strategy. And the Liberal government formed in this election will commit to implementing such a strategy and work with community organizations and frontline workers to make sure that it gets implemented successfully and address the needs and services that directly impact our citizens. A Liberal government in doing this will consult with the leaders and the community members to make sure that we're implementing the right services and the right programs in the right communities. One of the things that we have to do is, for any of our policy decisions, is that consultation process. But in addition to that, we're committed to working with and investing in family resource centers across the province because they work with and reach the families most in need of support. We can all agree, I think, that education is a very important equalizer across income levels. It is one of the means of breaking down barriers. And the Liberal government is committed to reinvesting the $65 million that has been cut out of our education system the past number of years. These funds can be used and targeted in the classrooms to help our students who are most in need, whether that's providing additional support services in the classroom or additional resource materials to the schools to make it more affordable for our students to be educated. As I've already talked about our energy commitments and our transportation commitments, we are aware of the problems and challenges in our communities, and we are committed to addressing those challenges by working together with the community members to make sure we come up with the right solutions.